What's going on, everyone? Chris back again with episode 9 of the Match Analysis series. This week, we're again going back to 2014, and we're going to Extreme Rules and talking about one of my favorite six-man tags of that year. It is The Shield versus a recently at that time reunited Evolution. So let's get right to the match. The match starts off with all 6 men in the ring, and they immediately start brawling before the bell. While they go at it for a few moments, the Shield is able to clear the ring. And once Evolution is on the outside, the crowd gets fired up as the Shield has the high ground. Triple H runs in and he gets met with a clothesline by Seth Rollins. And then the bell rings and the match is now underway. As Rollins beats on Triple H then comes back with a boot to the stomach. And he puts Seth in the corner, but Seth actually gets the better of the fist fight that they're having. Seth is then sent into the ropes, but he's able to counter and hit Triple H with a drop kick. When Triple H then gets up in the corner, Seth comes in with a stinger splash, and then Seth is able to clothesline Triple H over the top rope. From there, Seth then hits the ropes and hits a dive on Triple H. And while they're on the outside, he brings Triple H back into the ring, but also knocks down Randy Orton, who was trying to sneak up on him. Back in the ring, Triple H is then, out of desperation, able to hit a clothesline on Seth, and now we have a double down. Triple H is then able to get to his corner first and then tags in Batista. And Batista, with his strength advantage, then sends Seth into the buckle, which Seth sells pretty well. They isolate Rollins and start getting the heat on him as Batista brings Rollins to Evolution's corner and hits him with multiple shoulder blocks. Orton then comes in to distract the Shield. So then they're able to then triple team Rollins, just choking him out in the corner again with boots on the top of Rollins' neck to wear him down some more. Orton then stomps on Seth with that slow methodical style he has, and then brings back in Triple H, who continues the beatdown on Seth. As they're beating him down and there's more heat being generated by Triple H, Seth is actually able to reverse a whip into the ropes, but he's met with Triple H's patented face breaker. Triple H goes for the cover, but then there's a kick out by Seth. As Batista is then tagged in, Batista then brings Seth to the apron, and he starts beating him down with elbows from the outside onto Seth as he lays on the apron. A cover by Batista, but a kick out by Seth. Orton gets tagged back in, who again proceeds again to stomp on Seth and then hit him with a hangman suplex. Then after Seth kicks out of another cover, Randy Orton goes to a rest hold on Seth. As Seth fights up, he's able to hit Orton with a back suplex, and we have another double down. Evolution then comes in and then knocks the Shield off the apron to prevent Seth from making the tag. But as Seth is then tied up in the ropes, and then Orton tries to launch him for a hangman type spot, Seth is able to twist himself and get to his feet and land an enziguri kick. As we have another double down, Seth finally makes a tag to Ambrose, who comes in with a running drop kick on Orton. He goes then and then hits a clothesline and stomps in the corner. Orton fires back with his uppercut, but Ambrose is able to hit the ropes and hit that bounce back clothesline that he started doing. Triple H comes in, but Dean takes him down and goes for a figure four, which is broken up by Orton. So then, Ambrose then takes down Orton and puts him in the figure four. After that, the figure four is then broken up by Triple H. And then Roman comes in to even the odds. And then as he's pulled to the outside, he actually throws Batista into the barricade. He goes for a spear on the outside of Triple H, but Triple H is able to sidestep that. And Roman then gives a spear to the stairs and takes himself out of the match. Triple H then actually is able to take advantage of Dean Ambrose then being thrown to the outside, and he slams Dean face first into the apron. He then throws him back into the ring, and then Batista's tagged in. He hits Dean with a strong clothesline, a cover, and a kick out. Orton is then tagged in and does the same thing. He clotheslines Dean to the canvas for a cover and a kick out. Orton then stomps on Ambrose and then puts him in a reverse chin lock. Ambrose is able to fight out, only to hit the ropes and be met by a drop kick by Orton. Triple H comes back in, and then when he whips Dean to the buckle though, Dean is able to get a foot up. As he runs at Triple H is able to counter with his double A spine buster for a 2 count. Batista comes back in, and then he hooks on his own rest hold. He gets the hooks in like a jiu-jitsu back take and puts him in a reverse chin lock, and he is met with chants of, "You can't wrestle." Dean is able to counter this by getting to his feet and hitting Batista with a jawbreaker, but Batista is able to take Dean down with a boot to the face. Triple H is then tagged back in. He goes for a pedigree, but Dean is able to counter with a back body drop. As Triple H then gets back up, again out of desperation, Ambrose hits Triple H with a DDT. And finally, he's able to get the hot tag into Roman Reigns, which is met with a huge reaction, because this is prior to the Roman backlash. Roman comes in, he hits clotheslines to Batista and Orton. He sends Orton over the top rope, and also nails Batista with a right hand to keep him at bay. He slips to the outside, he clotheslines Triple H, and then is able to hit Batista with an early version of the drive-by. Orton then comes out, and then he sends Orton to the barricade. As he comes back in, he's met by Batista, however, who sets Roman up for the Batista bomb. However, before Batista can hit his move, Seth comes flying off the top rope and hits a flying knee onto Batista. Roman then hits a Superman punch, and now with Batista down, all 3 members of the Shield are in the ring, and they give the sign for the triple power bomb. We see the Shield bomb being hit on Batista, but when Roman goes for the cover, he's pulled to the outside by Triple H and Orton. Now we have a brawl on the outside between Roman and Dean versus Triple H and Orton. Rollins then tries a dive over the top rope, but he misses the dive and hits the barricade, so now he's taken out of the match. Triple H then comes in and is able to hit the pedigree on Roman, but before he can drag Batista to make the cover. Dean is able to take out Triple H and send them both to the outside. Batista does get a cover on Roman, but Roman is able to kick out, which also gets a big reaction. Orton then comes in and hits the RKO on Roman, but this time, when Batista goes for another cover, Seth comes in and breaks up the pin. Orton then pulls Seth to the outside, and they start brawling on the outside towards the timekeeper area. Now we have 4 of the 6 men in the match brawling near the timekeeper's area and close to the barricade. And we have Triple H and Orton double teaming Seth Rollins. To stop the 2-on-1, Dean is able to actually run across the announce tables and launch himself at both Orton and Triple H, sending them over the barricade into the crowd. They now brawl through the crowd in a 2-on-2 standoff. As they're brawling through the crowd, we see things like Triple H going for the pedigree, only to get backdropped onto a steel gurney. They brawl up the aisleway, and then eventually up on a higher balcony, we lose Seth Rollins, and it becomes a 2-on-1 situation of Ambrose versus Triple H and Orton. Seth makes his way back into the match as they're brawling on the lower level. Seth dives off the balcony and hits Orton and Triple H, taking basically all 4 men out of the match, while Batista and Roman are down in the ring. As they get up, Roman charges at Batista, and Batista hits a spinebuster. He then again goes for the Batista bomb, but Roman is able to get out of that and hit Batista again with a Superman punch. Then Roman sets up and delivers a spear, gets the cover on Batista, and 1, 2, 3, the Shield has beaten Evolution. And it gets a huge reaction from the crowd. This again was one of my favorite matches of 2014, and just a really fun 6-man tag overall that really wanted me to see more of this rivalry between the Shield and Evolution. And it felt like a mini passing of the torch, as Michael Cole, his call after the match was the times are a-changing, because it was the younger group and the hungrier Shield that beat the veterans and the former world champions of Evolution. So that concludes the match. Let me know what you guys think of it and what your memories are of that feud and that 6-man. Let me know if you'd also like me to review the rematch they had the following month at Payback, which was the Elimination 6-man tag, which was no holds barred. And also let me know what other matches you'd like me to review in the future. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll be back again with another match analysis, and also with episode 29 of What Could Have Been in Wrestling. Thanks a lot, everyone.